Welcome to our next session of bio class, children. So let us continue with our chapter, and our next topic is capacities of the lungs. So related to the lungs, we have a few definitions over here which you will need to remember. They may come as definition to define, or they may also come to as matchups. So they are quite simple. First one is tidal volume. Tidal volume refers to the air breathed in and out in normal breathing. Normal breathing means unforced. So normally whatever air you breathe in and breathe out, the amount of that air is called tidal volume, and it is approximately 500 ml. Now when we breathe in and breathe out, you all know that during breathing some air is always trapped in the respiratory passage, that can be trachea or bronchi, and there no which these means this trapped air, there is no diffusion also of this trapped air, such is known as dead air space. And so during normal breathing, how much air is always present? Approximately, that is 150 ml, which is present in all our respiratory passage. And some amount of air will always be present in our air sacs, so that will be called as alveolar air. So this is approximately 350 ml. So normal breathing without any forced breathing, normal amount of air breathed in, means inspiration and expiration, that will be 500 ml. Amount of air present in the passage, respiratory passage, 150 ml, and the amount of air which is present in alveoli, that will be 350 ml. So related to these dead air space and alveolar air, there is another, because it will be easier for to remember. If you remember sixth one, that is residual volume. As the name suggests, residual. So this is again the same thing. Some air is always left in the lungs even after forcibly breathing out. If you breathe out forcibly, then also some air will be present in your respiratory passage. That will be known as residual volume, and it is approximately 1500 ml. Now we will discuss these two: inspiratory reserve volume and expiratory reserve volume. So as the name suggests, inspiratory. So this is the air that can be drawn in, but remember the word forcibly means how much you can forcibly take in, breathe in, and over and above tidal air. Then you have read that tidal air refers to normal, means how much air can be breathed in and out normally. So beyond normal, how much air you can breathe in, that will be called inspiratory reserve volume, and it is the maximum 3000 milliliter ml. And expiratory reserve volume, air that can be forcibly expelled after normal expiration. So this is normally 1000 ml. Okay, now these two. Then next we have vital capacity. Vital capacity, as the name suggests, capacity. It refers to the volume of air that can be taken in and expelled out by maximum. Here you have to remember the word maximum. Inspiration and expiration means maximum how much your lungs can take, breathe in, how much air you can breathe in, and how much air you can breathe out maximum. That is called vital capacity, and this is 4500 ml. Okay, then this we have done. Then we have total lung capacity. This is maximum air which can at any time be held in the two lungs. How much air will be present at any time? Maximum which can be present in the lungs anytime, that is 6000 ml. So I hope these definitions are clear to you. So you just go through these, and you also need to remember the values. Now let us start with this progress check. We have some matchups. Nasal chamber. Nasal chamber warms air. Epiglottis. Epiglottis closes windpipe during swallowing. Air sacs. You know that air sacs are surrounded with network of capillaries. Lungs are spongy and elastic. Larynx. From larynx we have production of voice. Trachea. Trachea is made up of C-shaped cartilaginous rings. And cilia. Cilia, they help in driving or removing the mucus. Then how do the following contribute in inspiration during breathing? Inspiration. During inspiration, ribs protrude outward, and so you can write outward and upward when we inhale, and at the same time diaphragm flattens. Then we have another matchup here. Given below is the lung capacities. You can match residual air 1500 ml, vital capacity 4500, total lung capacity is 6000, and dead air space is 150 ml. Then we have some experiments related to breathing and respiration, and these are quite simple. One is that demonstrate that water is lost during breathing. So you might have observed when we breathe out, or you can do it, you breathe out, keep your hand in front of your mouth or mirror, and then you can find that after some time there are fine water droplets appearing on the surface. So this proves that when we breathe out, it contains moisture, or we can say that is actually the water is lost during breathing, but in the form of vapors. Second is to demonstrate that carbon dioxide is given out in breathing. To demonstrate that carbon dioxide is given out in breathing, we need a setup of apparatus in such a way. These are the two conical flasks A and B, both containing lime water, to which some tubes are fitted, and the fitting is of this type. There is an opening in the center from where we will blow the air from here. And first of all, these can be loosened or tightened from here. So in the beginning, you keep this clip C opened. This is clip C, which is opened now, and you are inhaling air from here. So when you inhale air, outside air will rush from this side. So outside air is a mixture of gases, and there is no change in lime water. Then after some time, you close this clip C. From here you will tighten. This will be closed, and clip D is opened. Now you breathe out. So breathe out from here forcefully, breathe out, breathe out. What do you breathe out? Carbon dioxide. How will you come to know? This is lime water, this has turned milky. You all know that when carbon dioxide is passed over lime water, it turns milky. So it proves that the air we breathe out contains carbon dioxide. The next experiment is to demonstrate the action of diaphragm during breathing. What happens to the diaphragm during breathing? So actually we have a setup in this type in our laboratories. These two balloons, they refer to our lungs, and there is a rubber sheet here. This refers to the diaphragm. Just an experiment. So what happens is that when we pull the diaphragm from here, when we pull it out, when we pull this diaphragm out, volume inside the volume will increase. When volume increases, pressure decreases. Inside pressure decreases. When the pressure decreases, so outside air rushes in, and these balloons they are puffed up. Okay. When we push this rubber sheet towards the inside, when we push it inside, volume decreases. When volume decreases, air pressure increases. So when air pressure increases, due to the increased pressure, from the inside air will rush out. So same thing happens in our lungs and the diaphragm. So this experiment suggests the relation between the diaphragm and the lungs. Our next experiment is to measure the volume of expired air. Expired means the air which is breathed out. How can we measure that, how much air we can breathe out? For this we need a jar which is filled with water, and there are two tubes are fitted. One is longer and the other one is shorter. So through this short tube you will forcefully breathe, expire air. You will breathe out. When you breathe out, water from here will rise and will fall here. Here we have kept a beaker. Each time you breathe out, some water will come here. Each time you breathe out, some water will come here. Then after that, we can see in 1 minute how much water we have collected. And this way we can calculate the amount of air we breathe out in each expiration. Our last experiment is to show that oxygen is taken in by animals during respiration. Oxygen is used and carbon dioxide is given out during breathing. So to explain this, we have this experimental setup. We have taken a conical flask in which there is a cockroach. Actually, we will take two. In one, we will put dead cockroach, and in another, we will show a live cockroach. Then after some time, what we are going to do is, let's say after 1 day, you will insert a candle, burning candle with the help of a wire. And then we will see that the flask which is containing live cockroach inside that candle will immediately be extinguished, because live cockroach is breathing, it is using oxygen. So you know oxygen supports burning and carbon dioxide does not support burning. So oxygen is used, carbon dioxide is given out, so candle will be extinguished. Whereas in the control experiment where you have taken dead cockroach, there the candle will be burn for a longer time. So this shows that oxygen is taken in by animals during respiration. So here we have completed this chapter. Now in the next video we will discuss the question answers. So thank you very much.